You, the viewer, have spoken, and we have the results of this week's Voice of the Fan here at Pro Football Weekly. I'm joined by associate editor Arthur Arkush to break it down. And Arthur, we asked our readers and viewers this week, which of the following quarterbacks should be benched first? Ryan Fitzpatrick, Matt Castle, and Mark Sanchez. Let's go with the fourth option first, and that was none of the above. 11% of you voted for that. And when you look at the backup situations of these teams, you look at the contracts as well, you got to imagine that might be the most likely scenario.
I think so. I mean, you look around the league, there's a reason that the Ryan Tannehills, dating back to last year, Christian Ponder, Blaine Gabbert, these guys were reached for a little bit. There's a reason for that. There's not 32 good quarterbacks in the NFL, let alone 64. So I think that it's kind of a lesser of two evils when you're talking about Tyler Thigpen or a Brady Quinn. I don't think that the options are always going to be better. Obviously, Tim Tebow, we'll get to him in a moment, so I think that's why you got that big response.
Well, the quarterback that got the fewest percent of votes is Ryan Fitzpatrick in Buffalo. He only got 5%. And, he does lead the league in touchdowns as well as interceptions. And I think Bills fans are so excited when he plays well, and then when he doesn't play well, things really fall apart quickly. But as you mentioned, Tyler Thigpen, not a good situation behind him, but Fitzpatrick needs to be more consistent.
There's no question about it. I mean, I think, as illustrated obviously by him leading the league in touchdowns, he has an ability to make plays. He has playmakers around him. There's no question about it. Chan Gailey's system certainly promotes him having an opportunity to be in position to make plays, throw touchdowns. Unfortunately, we also see, the gunslinger mentality, and you never want to see that, but it just seems like, for instance, a big lead on Sunday, a chance to get a huge win over a division rival, one of the best teams in the NFL. The 4 touchdowns are great. The 4 picks, you can't have them, especially not when you have a 2-touchdown lead.
Well, one of the teams that Fitzpatrick and the Bills beat this year was the Kansas City Chiefs, and they took advantage of some Matt Castle turnovers. That's been a big problem for Castle this season. It's put the Chiefs at a 1-3 record. He's been a big reason for it, but that backup situation behind him, not very good either.
Not good at all. And with Matt Castle, it's kind of, sometimes you see signs of him being the guy. He's never going to have that big-time arm strength. He's never going to be able to really threaten defenses down the field, but he can be efficient. I don't know if he has some of the same accuracy issues as some of the other guys, but still, you see too many balls just flailing out of his hands, and he really does not have the ability to extend the field vertically. So I think that's a big issue, and then the consistency is obviously going to be a problem for all 3 of these guys.
And the guy who won by a whopping 67% of the vote, and Mark Sanchez. And Arthur, I don't know if that's so many people that don't like Mark Sanchez or who know that Tim Tebow is the guy who steps in. They want Tebow in there. Not sure, but clearly a lot of people want Sanchez benched.
Yeah, I think so, but I also think that Rex Ryan not being willing to commit to Tim Tebow, despite Sanchez's just horrible outing against the Niners, is really, truly kind of an indicator of just where they feel Tebow is at, obviously, as well. So you got 2 of the least efficient quarterbacks in the NFL. Unfortunately, you've got one backing up the other. So Mark Sanchez, the only guy with the completion percentage under 50% right now in the NFL, and it's just not good enough. There's a lot of teams that the Niners are going to give trouble with their pass rush, but we've seen Mark Sanchez be skittish in the pocket and not be willing to continue looking downfield against multiple teams. So I think that extends way beyond what happened this past Sunday.
And it's not going to get any easier for Mark Sanchez playing the Texans on Monday night without his best offensive playmaker, Santonio Holmes, for the rest of the season. But when you talk about completion percentage, there's a quarterback out there who's worse in that career, and that is Tim Tebow. Another quarterback who wasn't in this list but may have added it after Monday night, Tony Romo from Dallas. A lot of people upset about his play so far this season. What do you think about these results in terms of which quarterback should be benched first? Be sure to comment below the video at our YouTube site and check out the story at ProFootballWeekly.com.